Hello, good morning. For today's video, we are going into something very, very important. I'm going to discuss water safety and children. This is extremely important. It is a tough topic to discuss, but it is something as pediatricians we do like to discuss. Unfortunately, as a pediatrician, I see and hear a lot of drowning situations, near drowning. So I am a little bit of a crazy mom when it comes to water safety and my kids, but I will own that and that's fine. So we need to learn to respect the water. We don't want to be overly scared of the water and teach our children to be scared of the water, but at the same time, you need to respect the water and understand that it can be dangerous. So I'm going to review water safety. I'm going to do it in two separate videos because this is a very dense topic and I have a lot of stuff I want to tell you and I don't want it to be overwhelming. So I'm going to do part of it today and then I'll release the rest of it this week. So first of all, this can happen to anyone. I think that's very important to understand. It doesn't pick people out, and drowning happens all the time, everywhere. So near drowning events too. So just be aware it can happen to anyone. Drowning is the #1 cause of death in children ages 1 to 4, and it is in the top 5 for our other age groups. So that is very scary. So that's why I take it so seriously. The typical scenario that we do see is when one parent thinks that the other parent is watching the child. You think your husband or your wife or your significant other, you think they're watching them, and then you find out, you guys look at each other and you're like, you're not watching him? I thought you were. Oh my goodness. And then you have these like 1 to 2 minutes of panic where you don't know where your child is. So it's really important that there's good communication between the adults to know who is actually watching the child and has responsibility. The majority of children drown in what we call a non-swim time. So this could be when you guys are all sitting around and having dinner near a pool, or maybe not even near a pool, but there is a pool nearby, down the street or something. Also, maybe you guys are all taking a swim break and having lunch, and then a little one happens to wander off. So that is when most of these episodes actually take place. It takes less than 30 seconds for a child under 30 pounds to drown. So be very cautious. Things to look for, and just some very basic tips. Like I said, this is going to be a very long video stretched over 2 separate things. When you're going on vacation, or you're going to somebody's house, or you are putting a pool in your own house, you want to have a 4 to 5 foot tall fence around the pool. Self-closing, self-latching gates. Many gates actually have an alarm on them now, which is awesome. So you can look for that. A lot of these fences are removable. So in vacation homes, perhaps you may know, you could ask them to put a gate in if you have little ones coming. Also at your own home, if everybody's older and you don't need a gate, but you're having people over with small kids, you can get a gate that is removable. So you could put it in while they're there and then take it out when you don't need it anymore. You also want to have the locks placed up high for areas leading out to the pool. Lifesaver Pool Fence is a great company. I have no financial ties to them at all, but they are a great company to look into when looking at a pool fence. The other thing, hot tubs. You want to make sure you also have hot tubs covered too. So you want to have them with covers and locks too. We want to take hot tubs just as seriously as pools. Layers of protection are very important as well. So your first layer can be the fence. Your second layer is lifeguards, obviously, but you have to remember that lifeguards cannot see everything. There are 100 kids in the pool. They cannot watch everything. They are really good, but just like as parents, sometimes we can't even watch our own 2 to 3 kids all the time. So it's good to have that extra set of eyes on the children in addition to the lifeguard. And again, just make sure there is an adult who knows I am the watcher, the designated watcher, that they're not on their cell phone and they're not getting distracted at all. So that's really important. Bright colored swimsuits when you're at the beach or community pool can also be helpful, and so you can always spot your kids. Last thing I'm going to talk about today is floaties and puddle jumpers. It's really important. You will see lifeguards use pool noodles and kickboards, and you need to use those products when you're teaching your kid how to swim, the way they use them. So they are not a flotation device. So you can't put a child in a pool with a noodle who doesn't know how to swim and just assume that they're just going to stay on that noodle, obviously. Puddle jumpers, you have to use these with a caution. They put your child in a vertical position when they're floating in the water, which is not natural for swimming. So this can be more taxing on the body for the child. They're using more energy with this. So like I said, it puts them in that upright position, which when you are swimming, actually you are leaning more forward. So it's teaching them a little bit incorrectly about swimming technique. It also gives adults a false sense of security. We have a tendency as parents, when we have our kid in some kind of flotation device, that you might not watch them as closely. It's really important you watch them just as closely. These kids can take these puddle jumpers off. They sometimes can't hold their heads up out of the water very well. So it's just really important that if you do have your children in these, you really need to be watching them just as closely as if they were not wearing anything. So these are not replacements for life jackets or for parent watching, okay? So that's video part 1. The next video is gonna really focus on education for our kids in the pool and actually teaching them water safety and techniques for them, and even more for parents too. So I hope this was great. If you enjoyed this, let me know, and I'll get the rest of this out to you guys this week. Thanks, guys. Bye.